Welcome back to American Beef Ranch. Today we have some farm chores we gotta get taken care of. Let's get to work. So today we're working on some fence because we got to move the cows from the south side of the ranch to the north side. But before we do that, I've got to take care of some watering some animals. I've already watered them this morning, but usually by the middle of the afternoon I've got to water them again. So that's what we're doing. We're going to clean the chickens' water and get them some fresh water, and then we're going to also work on the horses' water and make sure they have enough water for the rest of the day. So the chickens always make a mess of their water. So it freezes, they get in there and they poop, and it's just not good. So I'm cleaning this thing out like twice a day right now. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the ice out, we're gonna rinse it out, and then we'll fill it up with fresh water. It's actually pretty clean today, but there is a little bit of, you know, chickenness. So we just rinse it out. And then give them some fresh water. So now the chickens have fresh water and they'll pop up there just like that. And they'll get a drink. And I don't fill it all the way up because it's really cold right now. It's getting down to like 9 degrees at night. And so it freezes like really fast. And so I don't want to put too much water in there and have a big old chunk of ice. I already feel like the 6 or so gallons I put in there was too much. So anyway, we're gonna turn their electric fencer back on that's right here. And then we got some horse waters to work on. I hope the weather stays nice because baby horse just bit me and I'm not very happy about it. But anyway, we have 3 of these Ritchie water tanks, and when I installed them, the goal was for them to be semi-temporarily installed, and they weren't installed completely 100% like we wanted them to. First off, because we don't want horses here permanently. Second off, because we have freestanding panels and gates, so it doesn't let you install them exactly proper because they have a water bowl on each side. So technically you could split a fence with that water tank and water one animal on each side. We did it this way. The problem is because I semi-temporarily installed it and money was a problem, I didn't do it exactly perfect. So they freeze and they're not sealed very good to the concrete. And that's my fault. So I'm having to pack water, which isn't that big of a deal. But anyway, I'm having to pack water, and eventually we will do these properly when their new horse pens are built. But for now, I just have to maintain them. Once it warms up a little bit, they unfreeze and they work fine. But for now, while the weather's cold, I just haul water to them a couple times a day and it's fine. But it is kind of annoying. Yeah. Extra thirsty. All right, so the horses are now taken care of, all 4 of them. The one doesn't have an automatic water, so I have to haul water to him anyway. And like I said, I'm not giving him too much. If it was warmer outside, there'd be 2 25-gallon buckets there filled up with water, but hopefully we can build them some new pens this year and, you know, have a proper setup so their stuff doesn't freeze. So now we got to head down here because we got to fix some fence, or really just fix a gate so that I can move the cows from one side of the ranch to the other, but we'll show you that. This gap is a problem because the cows are supposed to stay on that side of the fence, and I don't think this imaginary wire is going to work. But see, what happened is that there used to be a gate over here, but it was only about 17 foot wide. So that means you could fit a swather or a baler or a rake through there. But this year when I planted corn, I couldn't fit a corn planter or a big roller harrow, any of that stuff through here. So I had to take the post out and move it down. So we have a pretty big gap here. So we got to go grab the backhoe because I have one freestanding fence panel up by the horses we'll grab. And then I have one junky panel down here that we can grab. And I'm going to bring those down here because those cows are going to end up coming over to this side and being in this one pivot right here behind us. So there's like 24 acres in the pivot, but there's about 40 acres total right here. And then they'll have a little bit of ground over here. So they'll have about 50 acres. But if you didn't see before, I'll put it up here in the cards. We put a whole bunch of bales out there for them to bale graze. So they got the corn stalks to graze and a bunch of hay to graze because this field needs some help. So anyway, let's go grab the backhoe and let's get to moving these panels. So the cows are checking out what we're doing. The backhoe's right over here. But we got these little calves. They go right underneath the hot wire along the road and they're out here. But these cows, it's about time for them to move. They look a little hungry. But anyway, let's run inside the greenhouse and see how warm it is, because it's 22 degrees outside right now. Beautiful day, but 22 degrees. It's 90 degrees in here. Look at this temperature. 90 degrees. It feels really good in here. We can definitely grow some plants. right, that looks pretty good. We'll move it into place, and I think a 16, so this is a 24-foot freestanding panel. I think a 16-foot panel, let me step it off here. I believe a 16-foot panel will fit perfectly right here, which I have quite a few 16-foot panels. But we're gonna head and do something that I didn't plan on doing today or otherwise, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I think it's a good idea. So we have about, well, we have 5 hay bales that are, what are these? These were baled in 2023. This is the spring of 2025. 2023 was the year that we lost $100,000 because of voles. This is first crop hay. So, you know, it's not the best quality. Some of it's alfalfa-y, some of it's grassy. Either way, we got some hay bales here that I can feed to the cows. I looked at the cows a minute ago, and some of the older cows' body condition is starting to suffer because they've been on corn stalks for quite a while. And I've been pushing them pretty hard, trying to get them to eat any of the extra native grass I have and things like that. But it's time to kind of start supplementing their feed. I also see that I have a flat tire on the backhoe, which is great. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use these bales. We're going to get them set out for the cows, but we're also going to make them do some other work for us. And when we get them put out, we'll talk about it. Okay. Welcome to my best and my worst field all in one. So this is field number 3. There is an upper portion of this. It's like a 20-acre field, 22-acre field. The upper portion, the upper 2/3, best field I have by far, like by far. This lower third though, however, if you guys remember, we moved a lot of dirt this year, covered a lot of rock piles, so this field's continuous now, but we moved a lot of dirt into the field, not soil, dirt. And so as you see, look how white and light colored this stuff is versus some other stuff. So another thing I want you to notice is if we come over here to the corn stalks, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it, but you can see we have like a good number of corn stalks, and then they start to fade to nothing, right? There's literally nothing here. That's because the corn right here in this white patch that's about 2.5, 3 acres was 6 inches tall. And this was just a weedy patch of nothing, and that's because we lack carbon, oxygen, available calcium, and available phosphorus. Carbon being the biggest one. We can obviously see that in the color of the dirt. So, because I think my cows need some food, and because I have 5 more bales, and because I was already going to spend a whole bunch of money on this field anyway to whip this part into shape because I want it to equal the top as quickly as possible, we're just going to go ahead and bale graze. We're going to add some carbon from the hay. We'll get the manure and the urine here too. The cows will get some food. They do some work for me. And then I can move them to the next pasture where there's a lot more feed. And all is merry. So something I have to do, not only to this field, but to the other field, is go around and cut all the strings off the bales. I only got one in here right now because I hope the cows go ahead and come down here and get some food. I'm sure they will. And but we'll get these strings cut off. And then we're gonna start hauling bales. All right, I've got 3 bales here and kind of spread out a little bit. I'm gonna spread this one out before I leave, but I'm happy with that. I do have 2 more bales. I'm gonna save those in case I need them for something. It's just nice to have a couple extra bales if I gotta put something up and feed it and stuff like that. But obviously this hay didn't cover very much ground. We're still gonna have a lot of work to do in this patch right here to get it up to snuff for where we wanna be. So I gotta close the gate. I gotta head home because we have one more thing we gotta do before it's time to cook dinner. I got my chicken getting clothes on, and it's time to go get the eggs from the chicken house. Now, we do, and I wear a separate set of clothes anytime I spend a lot of time in the chicken pen. Earlier today I had my boots on and just hopped over, fixed the water, but if I'm gonna be in the chicken house and stuff like that, I have a set of irrigation boots down there, and I have this red sweatshirt and some gloves that I wear that stay in a separate part of the house, and that way we, you know, eliminate the possibility of any contamination. So here are the hens, and I'm definitely going to walk back over here and shut the electro net off before I walk over that net, because I have been hit by it and it does not feel good. All right, now we're good to go. 4-foot tall electro net. I'm just flexible enough to get my leg up that high. Just flexible enough. Let's see what the ladies have for us today. Ooh, that looks good. So this is how we collect eggs. We collect them once or twice a day, just depends. If the weather's really cold, we try to get out here as early as we can, because they usually are laying in the morning, and then we, you know, get them all collected and move on. Unfortunately, I don't know if you saw the short, but I had to dispatch a skunk about a week ago now, I think, in here in the back. I forgot to turn the electro net on. And the skunk got in the hen house and it was not good. So the skunk had to be dispatched. Luckily, the smell is kind of gone away. It's not terrible anymore, but it was pretty bad for a few days. And so we lost, I don't know, probably 500 eggs or something like that I had to get rid of, because the stench just would not wash off of them or get out of them. We've got our about 7 dozen eggs, and that's all of the chores that I got to do in the daylight. I do got to do some feeding and some other stuff, you know, after dark, but now it's time to go cook some beef. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We got some animals, some water. We worked on the fence on the north side of the ranch so that we can move the cows over. We went ahead and decided to do a little bit of bale grazing on the south side because the cows looked hungry, and I had a little extra hay that we should use. And we also got the eggs picked from the chicken. As of right now, the ranch is still up in the air whether we're going to be able to continue to go this year or whether we're going to have to sell the farm and move on. But anyway, we really appreciate you guys watching, liking, and subscribing to these videos. I really have gained a lot of new contacts in the entire agricultural world because of you guys watching these videos. And when we do continue and when we do save the farm, it's only going to get bigger, better, and you guys are really going to like it. Stay tuned, stick with us. God bless. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.